Hey everyone, Chef Jason Hill here, and tonight I am making a corn chowder. Doing something a little different with it. I had some leftover smoked chicken that I pulled apart and diced up. About 2 cups I'm going to add to it, so it's going to be like a smoked chicken corn chowder. So let me show you how I do it. I've got 4 ounces of frozen bacon that I'm going to dice up. I've already diced up a whole onion, about a medium-sized white onion. Diced up a red bell pepper. 2 large stalks of celery, fine dice. Got a tablespoon of my garlic shallot puree. Or if you don't want to do that, you can do about 3 cloves of garlic. We're going to use 2 pounds of corn. 1 pound we're going to throw in the soup whole. The other pound we're going to puree. I have 3 red potatoes that I'm going to dice up. Kind of wait and do that last so they don't get brown. Or you could store them in water and they won't brown up. We'll have a bay leaf, tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, and then 2 cups of diced smoked chicken. And for garnish, cup of shredded smoked Gouda. Okay, I'm just going to dice up the bacon as fine as possible. This doesn't have to be pretty because it's going to just saute down. Okay, I'm going to set that to a medium high. The pot's been preheating for about a minute. Throw our bacon in there. We'll let that cook down for a little bit. Okay, the bacon's been in here for a couple of minutes. I'm going to stir it around and now dump in our vegetables. Onion, red pepper, celery. All right, after the onions have cooked down a little bit, now I'm going to add the garlic shallot puree. Make sure you get all the pieces off the side because they're not going to cook if they're hanging out up on the side of the pan like Spider-Man over here. Okay, while our vegetables are sauteing, let's go ahead and puree up 1 pound of the corn. You want to puree it as best you can. You want it almost like a paste. That's good enough. All right, this is what you want your onion and peppers and celery to look like. You don't want it brown, you just want it nice and translucent. You can see the bacon has some fat left in there, and now I'm going to put some flour in there and make up a roux. And I like to keep a little bit of bacon drippings on hand. I'm going to probably put about another half a teaspoon in there. If you don't have any bacon drippings, you can use butter or any other kind of fat, and oil. And a roux is equal parts fat and flour. So I'm going to start with a half a cup of flour. And we're going to cook this till you kind of smell the flour has like a nutty aroma to it. And you want to keep stirring as you're cooking your roux. And I went ahead, I didn't want it to have too much bacon flavor, so I added another tablespoon of butter. So it's kind of pasty, the bottom's going to be a little rough, but once we pour in our chicken stock, that'll come right off. Okay, now we're going to be using 2 quarts of chicken stock, and we're going to slowly add it. I'll probably put in about a half a quart to get it going, and you're going to want to stir this with your whisk right away to avoid any lumps. Okay, and once you see that you've incorporated it and there's no lumps in there, we can just pour in the rest of our chicken stock. And if you want to keep this vegetarian, don't use bacon, use butter. And don't use chicken stock, use vegetable stock. And don't use chicken, use more corn and potatoes. Now this will thicken up as it starts to boil, so this will take a few minutes. Okay, we need to bring this up to a simmer, so I'm going to drop in my bay leaf, put on the lid, and that'll simmer for 30 minutes. Okay, while our soup is coming to a simmer, we're going to go ahead and scald a pint of heavy cream and a pint of milk mixed together in a sauce pot. I'm going to do about a medium, and we will check that in a little bit. Okay, while our soup is simmering, I'm going to go ahead and dice up the potatoes. Now, if you're going to let these sit for a little while, you'll want to put them in a bowl of cold water so they don't brown. Okay, you can see my cream and milk mixture. Little surface scum here. But the bubbles are starting to form around the edges. And that's all you want right there. All right, it's been simmering for about 30 minutes, so let's add the rest of our ingredients. We're going to put in the potatoes and the corn puree. can see the color starting to come out. It's starting to look like chowder. It's chowder. Say it, Frenchie. Chowder. And then our whole corn. And then finally our chicken. And we'll let that simmer until the potatoes are soft. Okay, the potatoes are soft, so let's finish this up. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and fish out the bay leaf. And then we're gonna add our cream and milk mixture. And we'll let this come back to a simmer. Okay, my herb garden is coming to an end, so I had a few sprigs of fresh thyme I'm going to put in here. And then our teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, followed by a teaspoon of fresh cracked pepper. And then I'm just going to do a couple of pinches of salt, because there's going to be some saltiness in there from the bacon. We can adjust that as we go. You can always add salt, but you can't take it out. And then our cup of shredded Gouda, which is optional, but for me it's a necessity. It's time to serve this wonderful corn chowder. Just garnish with a few more fresh thyme sprigs. I also like to put a couple of dashes of some chipotle hot sauce in mine. Oh yeah. Who wants a bite? Hands down, this is one of my favorite chowder recipes. Give this a try. Hope you enjoy it. And as always, thanks for tuning in.